that's kind of weird. I don't like that. I don't like that. I like that. Okay. Boom. Boom. I'm back, guys. So yeah, basically, I'm back. I took a break from YouTube. I had to find myself. I had to do some soul searching. And yeah. So now I'm just gonna tell you guys. I passed my Comptia A plus. Come back with great news. It took about maybe a year and a half, but yeah, I passed my Comptia A plus. And the thing is, I did it. I passed. I got a certificate. It took me about maybe like 3 months in all. It could, however long it takes you, is a lot of information. Don't be discouraged due to the amount of information, because the thing is that the Comptia A plus can open doors for you. Yes, has it opened doors for me? A little bit. You know, doors a little bit creaking open. Someone's like, okay, who's there, right? You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to elaborate on my experience, because I know it is like, it's like the beginning thing of IT. So it took me about 3 months to study for, and basically I took Core 1. Core 1 basically is just over like very basic stuff, you know. Core 1's a little bit harder than Core 2, because Core 2, yeah, is it's just software operating systems. If you're good with like troubleshooting operating systems, if you're like a gamer or something like that, that's what it is. My camera is messing up, but yeah. So Core 1 is a lot harder than Core 2, because there's a lot more information in Core 1, but the grading score is a lot less. So to pass, you gotta just get a 650. I think it's 650 on the test. You can take it at like an online place, or you can take it at a testing center, right? So Core 1 goes over like mobile devices, networking. I got the thing right here on my laptop: hardware, virtualization and cloud, and hardware and network troubleshooting. So just like those realms. So like it'll be like Stacy comes into your store, and her iPhone has a big hump on, her Android has a big hump on it. Like, what do you do? And you say like, oh, it's a battery. You gotta replace the battery because the battery's malfunctioning, right? Boom, right? Or it'll be like networking. It's the employees at so and so corporation, they can't connect to Google.com. But and you gotta look at and it's like and it'll write out the whole URL, and it'll be like HTTP and HTTPS, and it'll be like which port is open. You gotta make sure it's like it's 80 or like I think it's like 140. Yeah, 140. It's either 80 or 140. So it's like HTTP or HTTPS. So, and then hardware will be like my computer needs, you know, a new power supply, and this power supply doesn't give enough energy. You got to figure out the wattage. Like, why is it's like which is the best power supply? Is it modular? Does that have to be redundant? You know, so that's on the hardware section. So you're just picking the right hardware for the computer to run properly. And then virtualization and cloud, that's like, okay, we're running a VM on this. Is it, you know, and the parameters for the VM, the CPU is not giving enough power, or the RAM's not giving enough power, and you gotta see which of those things is the problem with the VM. And then cloud, they're gonna tell you like what's an SSA, what's an SaaS, what's a PaaS, DaaS and IaaS, and you just gotta figure it out. It's just you gotta study. It's just a lot of things you gotta study and remember. And then hardware and network troubleshooting. Those are just all those are examples that I just gave you. But yeah. But right, 801, 1101, 1101. You do have to learn like 802 EE configurations. So like 802 dot a 80 802.3, what's 802.3, what's 802.2, A, B, C, A, B, A, X, N, G, B, like those, what are those, and then the channels too. So you have to understand those channels too, because also a lot of stuff from 1101 rolls over to 1102, like especially with the net on the networking side, because 1102. Let me go to the course objectives and just tell you basically what it is. That's more fresh in my head. It goes over operating systems, security, software troubleshooting, and operational procedures. So operating systems like Mac, Windows, Linux. So you have to learn command line. There's gonna be command line questions, terminal questions, because that's on terminal is used for Mac and Linux, right? So you got, know those, know that. What applications are for like management system maintenance, system management. So like Active Directory, Time Machine on Mac. What is that? What's disk management? What's check disk? What's task manager? What does event viewer do? Like that's on the operating side. Like it's a lot of the exam, basically understanding those operating systems. And then the security side, I feel like if you're trying to go into cybersecurity, study that motherfucker. Just study that. It will tell you it goes from like physical, like when I read the security thing, I thought cybersecurity was just all on the computer, but it's not. It's more than that. It's like guard dogs, security officers, like what is, like, if someone was trying to crash a car into a building, what would they put in front of it? And I'll put like the thing, it's bollards. C, right? Pick C, it's bollards, right? So software troubleshooting is like, oh, my BIOS isn't booting up. Why is that? Like it's saying, oh, can't boot. And you gotta be like, what's the command line? What is it? Slash reboot. Yeah, just boot. Like secure boot. Do I have to go into a secure boot? Viruses. They go over malware. That's on security side. Malware, viruses, Trojan horses, botnets. They don't go like really deep. It's not deep, but you just gotta understand those terms. And then like they tell you a procedural thing of like how many with the steps for the Comptia steps for software troubleshooting, and then on the hardware side they have like the steps for hardware troubleshooting and like what to do after, right? Operational procedures. So they're going to be telling you about policies, like if you go into a corporate environment, there's going to be an acceptable use policy, right? So you can't be going on like, oh, like I was trying to download some pictures from that my wife sent, and she sent it over the email to my work email and it got blocked. Why is that? You didn't read the acceptable use policy. You can't be doing that. It's an unknown sender. You know what I'm saying? So that's why. But there's 4 things. So I did operating system, software troubleshooting, and like a couple questions for operating systems. It's just like, oh, well, I gave you a couple examples. I'm not gonna do it like how I did for hardware, but yeah. But a lot of stuff does roll over. Core 2 was I would say is a lot easier, but you do have to study. Even though they know it's a little bit easier, they raised up the score because it's at a 700 points out of 900. And then also you got to study those whatchamacallit. There are labs. The labs are very important. Those simulations, those hold a lot of points. You might get 4, you might get 3. It just depends. But I had like 75 questions for each of my tests, and like out of the 90. But if you want to do it, I'm gonna tell you now, just go for the 90, because you know, if you have bad luck, if you just have bad luck, I'm sorry, just go straight 90. Just study for the 90. Study for the worst possible case. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is, and so the resources I've had used was I used the Cybex book from for the Comptia. It's a big book. It's like 1,200 pages. I know it's a lot, but if you read that whole book, write notes, and like do that, you will pass. I'm being 100% honest. You will pass. You write notes. You study that day in and day out. Maybe 2 hours every day. You go through like a chapter. Maybe not like a chapter because the chapters are big, but like if you're good like that, like you could do it. So that's one way that you could definitely. It's indefinite, but it's a little bit long, but you'll understand what you're doing. Then the next way, which I did, was the Udemy. I used Udemy, and I used the program. I was in a program, an OPG program. It's a through unemployment, and basically they paid for my Comptia A plus. The test is $250 each test. So Core 1 and Core 2, you have to get two. You have to get both of them and pass them to get the Comptia A plus A certification, right? So, the thing is that with the lectures, I had gotten lectures maybe for like 2 months. 2 months lectures of just going straight hardware, straight software. And then they also gave us practice questions. Practice questions are very, very important because you'll get used to how they trick you. Because CompTIA likes to trick people. They like to do it because, remember, it's $250 each test. Thinking about, like, okay, so if they got a guy who does it 10 times, right? 10 times, or 3 times, right? Because you're allowed to retake, right? So that's 250. That's 750 right there. 750 on one exam, right? And the second one, another exam, that's $1,000. If it's like, boom, it's already 1,000. You already at half 1,000, right? So everything starts to add up. So basically, are they doing that on purpose? No, they're getting their money from corporations because corporations pay for these type of exams, right? So that's why. It's just business. And the thing is like, if you just study really hard. You gotta study really hard for it. It's a vast amount of knowledge. It's very big, and then you can go on. But in the long run, it will help you because you'll have a better understanding of computers if you're going into the IT field. I would say that the Comptia A Plus is worth it 100%, all the skills and knowledge that you do learn. And also you get the benefit of adding it on your resume. So now you're a better candidate. So now, like, when you look at that job listing and they say, oh, Comptia A Plus, right? Oh, they'll look at you and be like, yo, like, he has a certification. We don't have to spend money on him besides a paycheck, right? And he's going to be resourceful. He has it. He or she or they has it. So, yeah, like, it's good. So use those resources. The people that I used on Udemy, I bought a subscription for like $35 a month, and it gives you like a plethora of useful resources. You can use Andrew Ramadalia. He has a YouTube channel called Institute. I think it's Technical Institute of America. And then Dion, they have the Dion training sample questions right there. And then like those questions helped. It's like 6 questions, and you just do it. You go through it, right? And it breaks everything down, and it tells you like what you got wrong and why you got wrong. So it's really helpful. It is really helpful, and you can understand a lot better. You're like, oh, I thought it was this, but then it's like, well, this doesn't make sense, and it just tells you like this. And you're like, yeah, it's a hard question at XYZ, right? So Andrew's course is very good. It's very useful. He prepares notes for you, and you go through it. And, you know, there's people on there who really just do care about their work and their things like that. So on Udemy, and my professor, Mo, he was my instructor. He was not my professor, but my instructor. And he talks about TCP and IP because ports is a very big thing on the first one, the core one. Ports, understand your ports, because if you don't, like, you're not gonna have a fun time. Later on, like after you pass that first exam, whatever if you pick the 102 or you pick the 1101 as your first one, which is like, oh, I'm better with software. So choose it like this: am I better with software or am I better with hardware, right? And then you just go into that. Which one's easier? Which one's easier for you to understand, and then go for that one, because once you pass that test, you'll feel like, it was nervous. Like when I first took my first test, I was shaking. I finished the test and I passed. I saw that I passed. I was still shaking for about 10-15 minutes later. I was like, why am I still shaking? I passed. Like, it's just all that, there's a lot of writing on it too. I just wanted to get it. I was, I had a lot of emotions toward it. So, and it was nice to, finally do it, and I could relax and chill, for a bit, But Comptia A plus, like, it is good. I am thankful that I did take it, because I do feel a lot more confident in sending my resume into places, and I feel a lot more confident in learning more as I go. Because even though, yeah, like, I passed the Comptia A plus, I still got to still do more things, because in the world of technology, it's always ever evolving. Not to sound like, like some posh guy, but it's, like pompous, not to sound pompous, but it's ever changing, man. Like, there's something new almost, like, every 6 months there's something new, so it's just cool. Like, okay, now I'm a little bit closer and closer and closer. There's someone who's, there's some kid in MIT who's like super duper smart, and he's just like, yeah, I could study, I have to study for it, right? But hey, but this is for the guy who's doesn't understand, like, hey, like, yo, like, I'm working at Amazon, and I can't do it anymore. These managers, they're just kind of mean to me, it just kind of sucks, and like, they're kind of stuck, like, and I want to get into IT. I heard they pay well, over there, like, and I just got to sit at a computer and, like, do my job. I don't have to go out and into the cold or anything like that. I'm in air conditioning, right? Like, I want to better my life, right? He's like, I'm dealing with bad managers, I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with that, like, it's too much, and I'm not even doing anything. Like, with IT, there's so many ways and so many pathways that you can go to, and it's endless. The possibilities are endless for anybody, and don't feel discouraged, because you don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be a super duper nerd, super duper, like Albert Einstein, IQ plus 1,000, right? No, you just gotta just try, and you're gonna fail, right? But that's life, and you just keep going and going. Because remember, hard work beats talent 100% of the time. If you just show up, right? Maybe take 2 hours out of your day, right? 2 hours. Say 2 hours every single day, right? 2 times 300, right? That's 600. You just did 600 hours, right? That's a lot. 600 hours? And then you got 50 more days on top of that. 65, actually. 65 times 2. That's 130. I'm doing quick maths right there. So, if you're feeling discouraged, if you're feeling like, oh, I don't know if I could do this, just do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to lose $250? Well, don't do it unless it's like, no, fuck it. You're going to lose $250, but, like, you want to tell your kid, like, hey, I wasn't able to, I didn't even try. You want to tell your friends, like, oh, I didn't even try. No one likes the person that doesn't try. Just try it. Come on, man. You tried it, you got it, and you get it, and you're like, oh, I could do more. You might even not even go into IT, You might become Michael Jordan. I don't know. You know? So just go get it. Just go get it. Don't be scared. of what's gonna happen if you fail. Because guess what? You can always take it again. You know, some people don't even pass their driver's license the first time. So, just do it. I would just say just do it. You know, it's for you. And if this is what you really want to do, A plus is basically the beginning door. That's the opening door, right? The gates are starting to open. There's gonna be another gate in front of you, but like the gates are starting to open. You're starting to get everything out the way, and you know you'll be able to do it. So, is it gonna take a little bit of time? Is it gonna take a little bit of effort? Yeah, but everything takes effort. You know, you can't just be like, oh nah, life's not you know, we live life. The only people who live on easy mode are just like born billionaires. Like they're just trust fund kids, you know? Kids were just born like, oh, my mom and dad just gave me $1 million for my birthday. They don't even understand the concept of that, right? Like they don't, you know, but like, you know, just go for it. Just go for it. I'm going into other things. Just go for it. Just go for your A plus. Don't be scared if you fail. If you fail, you fail, right? You fail. But guess what? You do it again, and you're like, oh, now I already know what's on the test. Okay, that was just a practice run. That was the practice run. I didn't even let them, you know, be delusional a little bit. You know, just believe. You kind of gotta be delulu. If you're a little bit delusional, you can take you far, right? Be a little delusional. Be like, oh yeah, I got this. I failed. They didn't even really want me to do that. But watch, I come back, boom, right? But don't let it discourage you if you do fail. Because hey, you just look at the score. It's just remember, it's just a score, but you learned something. If you didn't learn anything, that's on you. But if you've learned something, either from about yourself, technically, emotionally, it's always good. Just learn. It's a learning thing. We're human beings. We learn and learn and learn and learn. So don't feel discouraged. It's just, I know it's a big test, but you definitely can knock it out and get it done. Like, I'm able to do it. I'm able to do it, bro. Like, come on. Look at me. Like, come on. Like, just go for it, man. Just do it. Like, comment, and subscribe on video. If you don't do it, just find another video.